I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And this is the Coin Show Podcast. On this episode of the Coin Show Podcast, we have some show updates for you. We're going to talk about the coolest thing to walk into Matt's shop this week. We are going to ask, what's Mike reading?
Yeah.
But first, as always, the news. The news this week is brought to you by keychains. Hey, you think it's easy to lose your keys as it is? Think about it if they weren't all tied together in one handy place. Now that's a nightmare. What comes to our rescue? Keychains. Keeping your lost keys in a single place since 1894.
Mike, that's too good. Yeah, I love these. I love these.
It's just how we roll. It's what we do. So, Matt, coin collectors have come to the rescue.
I saw this story. This is cool.
This is cool. The Anti-Counterfeiting Educational Foundation has helped several U.S. government agencies in the investigation, arrest, and conviction of a counterfeit coin importer.
Good.
Jonathan A. Kirshner of Morristown, New Jersey, was sentenced up to 10.5 years in federal prison for selling counterfeit coins to unsuspecting buyers, as reported by CoinWeek.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Investigators found fake silver and gold coins and ingots that had a value of $46 million had they been authentic.
Gee, that's a ton.
Yeah.
That's a ton.
So that's a ton of nothing is what it is.
Right.
So Kirshner also impersonated a federal official posing as alcohol, tobacco, and firearms agents.
There's your problem.
He also had a badge on his Facebook page, and one that he wore when he would meet his marks. You know, he claimed to be selling the coins as kind of a side business. So Homeland Security set up a sting operation, and Kirshner was arrested for attempting to sell counterfeit coins to the undercover agent.
Oh, good night.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, Richard Weaver, who is a member of the ACEF board and president of the PNG, testified during the sentencing hearing. Weaver examined 49 Morgan dollars for a customer, and when he found every single one of them to be counterfeit, they kind of figured they had to call somebody.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. But this is a story that shows how we can help crack down on counterfeiting in our own industry if we're diligent. So bravo, ACEF.
Yep, awesome.
Yes, bravo.
Wait. I have a sound for this. Ready?
Yeah.
I did
Yes,
it.
James, okay. Let's see. The American the Beautiful Quarter program is releasing the new American Samoa Quarter. Now, the design is proving to be popular with collectors, but baby animals can do that for stuff.
Yeah, they tend to.
Yeah, this coin features a fruit bat and her pup hanging out in American Samoa National Park, although not a destination I have ever really considered. Think about this, Matt.
No, I mean either.
American Samoa includes 3 islands in the South Pacific.
Okay.
Almost all of the land is tropical rainforest, and that protects hundreds of species of plants. But aside from that, the shores boast coral reefs with a variety of species of fish, sharks, and sea turtles. So it's the first place on this side of the international date line. So you can experience the day first, and the best part is you don't even need a passport.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's United States.
It's like going to Hawaii or Puerto Rico.
Right.
Well, Hawaii,
So
Hawaii being a
anyways,
state.
the
but-
rolls of quarters become available today, February 3rd, with our new live format. I can finally use dates and stuff. This is going to be so much better.
I know, right?
So anyway, the rolls of quarters become available today, February 3rd, and the 5-ounce hockey puck will be available on Thursday, which is February 6th.
These are pretty cool looking. I mean, I don't.
I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Neat bats.
Not baddie for it,
like
but
sky squirrels, you know.
Sky squirrels. I mean, I love the fact that you got one upside down and one right side
Right.
up. So no matter which way you turn it, you got one looking at you.
Right. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's all right.
It's cool. Coin. I mean, considering some of the designs we've had, there are no complaints that I've heard about this one.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
The first $1 million coin of 2020 has been sold.
Cool. What was it?
So this a 1936 British sovereign of Queen Edward VIII,
Queen Edward?
one of only 6 known, was exchanged prior to the Fund Convention, and it was done before the Fund Convention actually even officially opened.
A lot
The
of
sale
stuff
was
happens
brokered
that
by
way.
the British Royal Mint for the equivalent of 1.3 million US.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happens before that show. When we were down there, we left Thursday. The show opened Thursday, but we got there Tuesday and worked in hotel rooms Tuesday and Wednesday, and then worked on the part of the floor Thursday, and then we left. So
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty typically how stuff happens at these shows. Most of the stuff is done in the first, I mean, sometimes before it even starts, and then the first couple of days.
yep,
And people wonder why Saturday and Sunday all the dealers have gone. It's because they've made all the money
they've been
and
there
they've
since Monday.
gone home to see their family.
Right.
So, do you know what's rare about a 36 sovereign, Matt?
Edward. Well, it has to do with King Edward because I think he abdicated.
That is correct. So it's one of the only coins that was actually minted bearing the king who would abdicate his throne in the first year of his reign.
Yep.
You know, it's because of the British tradition of striking coins with the monarch's portrait until the end of the year of their death. So George V died, you know, that was his father, in 1936. And so he ascended to the throne, but I want to say before the end of the year, he abdicated to his brother. And so the 1937 coins featured the new king, who was King George VI.
Yep.
Yeah, so in other world coin news, the Federal Swiss Mint released and sold out 999 of the world's smallest machine minted gold coin.
I heard about these. One of my customers was talking about these the other day, and I was like, "Nah, that's insane. Why would you buy that?"
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's like I couldn't really find in my quasi research how much it was actually selling for, because they sold out.
Right.
But I mean, they're okay. First off, it's got Einstein sticking his tongue out at you.
Which is a very famous picture of Einstein. Don't get me
Absolutely,
wrong.
absolutely. But I mean, this is a bearing the denomination 1/4 franc.
Right.
Coins minted in 999 fine gold, and weighs in at a whopping 1/500th of an ounce.
They're 2.69 millimeters. And I also heard that they came with a magnifying glass.
0.69 millimeters.
Millimeters, yep.
So a centimeter. Wow.
They're absolutely tiny. They come with a
so
magnifying
due to the
glass.
size of this coin and therefore the size of the devices, the Swiss Mint has generously provided a magnifying glass with each coin, and truthfully, you're going to need it.
Yeah.
Certainly a novelty. Not sure what to think about it.
I mean, it's new technology. It's like, I don't know what you call them, micro coins. I
But
mean,
just because you can doesn't mean you
well,
should.
of course, but this is non-circulating legal tender. Of course, that means you should. This is that stuff that nobody will ever spend anyways. So,
Well, true, but I mean, you know what's going to happen to this? Somebody's going to lose it.
well, yeah, you sneeze while you're looking at it. It's just
Right.
gone.
That's kind of the thing. It's smaller than a contact lens.
Oh no, it's absolutely teeny tiny. I mean, let's see. I have a caliper laying here. Let's do 2 millimeters. 2.6 millimeters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oops.
And that's the entire width of the coin.
That's the whole coin. Yeah. So it's like probably the size of the head of a Sharpie marker. Like the point of a Sharpie marker.
Yeah, and when I look at the who published it, numismaticnews.net story, when I look at that story, it's like the detail on this coin is amazing that it was made on something that it is amazing. That is a definite flexing the muscle, showing their technology, right? But
I kind of want to see one.
It's like,
and I'm not going to buy one, but I kind of want somebody to bring one in.
You want to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or try to look at it.
I might find glass out and take a look.
And get out your microscope.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
that's what you're going to need for this. How do you grade that coin?
Oh,
it's MS Perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Tomorrow will mark the 150th anniversary of the Carson City Mint.
Oh, that's cool.
So ceremonies will include the striking of special sesquicentennial silver medallion on historic press number 1, a press that actually struck coins with the famous CC Mint mark.
Cool.
Yeah. Now, considering the romance of the Carson City Mint, I expect that these anniversary medallions will be quite collectible.
Right.
My question is, I wonder how many are going to be struck.
Yeah, you got to think not very many.
Well, I mean, think about this. There is absolutely nothing that limits what they're producing. It's not a mint product. It's a medallion.
Well, I'd say the machinery will be what limits it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
If you're going to strike it on your most
historic... the technology of the machine is probably not going to bang out 1,000 coins an hour or anything.
Well, it might, but what I'm worried about is the 100-something-year-old machine cranking away and breaking. That'd be what I'd be worried about.
They don't
make parts for those anymore.
I worry less about machines of that era, because I think they were just made with these gigantic, like forged pistons and things like that. It's like they don't blow up, they don't break, they just stop working.
Oh, no, yeah, but if it stops working, then what do you do?
Well, you just look at it like everybody does every day.
Just saying.
Okay, so that to me, it's like, honestly, I would kind of like one of the 150th anniversary medallions. I think it'd be
cool. You probably get them on eBay like tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, absolutely. The question is what kind of gouge are they going to give you for it?
I'm sure it'd be a good one.
Well, I'm quite certain. It's like the story doesn't even really say what they're charging for them.
Yeah.
It's just that they will be available Tuesday, February 4th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time. And it's held at the Nevada State Museum, Carson City, 600 North Carson Street in Carson City, Nevada. So if you want to make it out to that, you can do that.
Knock yourself out.
The ANA has announced their entry into the registry set universe.
I've read about this too. What an interesting idea.
I like this idea. Numismatic News is reporting that the ANA will launch its own registry of NGC and PCGS coins later this year. Now, this is a nod to the popularity of registry sets, which is why I like this. But it's not a preference to either of the top two, third-party graders.
Yeah,
it's not a preference to either one, regardless if one is the official grading service of the ANA.
Sure.
But I digress.
I mean, the registry sets are totally popular, and if there becomes another player in the game, especially one that you can put both in, I think why not? I mean, let the prospective companies have their own registry with their own coins, if they would like to do that or not, and then have the ANA registry. Let them both in there. And the cool thing is, I was reading down here that ANA members will be eligible to compete for prizes in the registry.
Oh, yeah, that's the best part. Well, it's only certain categories.
All right, but still.
But yes, so the top sets each year will compete for cash prizes totaling over 20 grand.
I mean.
So the categories include best classic sets, best modern sets, best presented sets. So there's just artistry, and how you present it.
Right.
Best new sets, most educational sets, and best overall sets. So all of the awards will be published in the Numismatist, but the 3 best overall sets winners will be honored at the ANA Awards banquet. And the first ANA Registry Awards will be held in August 2021. I
mean, it's cool. I'd like to see it. I'd like to play with it. I'm sure that our registry guys will be interested to put their stuff in and see where they compare across their sets. So should be fun.
I think that it's encouraging. We know that the way that people collect has been changing for years, right? There are more type collectors. There are more of all these things. People don't collect so much by date and mint mark anymore. And I think it leads the numismatic community in some ways kind of befuddled as to how to present the hobby. It's like, well, how do you get people started? How do you get them out there? And And registry sets is something that is kind of caught on mainstream now, and with this award, really shows you that it is the way that things are going.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I can get on board with that.
And finally, in the news, the United States Mint produced 11.9 billion coins in 2019.
Good Lord.
Yes.
That's a lot of coins.
11.9 billion. So it's like, now, here's one thing to think about is that sounds like an enormous number, right?
It is an enormous number.
Well, it is an enormous number, but, and if you read the CoinNews.net article, they contrast it to the total of over 17 billion coins in 2015.
Right.
Okay. 2019, they made more coins faster, but they made fewer coins overall. And what this signals to me is that the economy may actually be slowing down.
Wow.
Less need for coinage is a true indicator of type of spending that's actually going on in the economy. So I think that's great. What I also think to be very ironic is the fact that of the 11.9 billion coins that were made, right?
Right.
7.6 7 billion of them were cents and were made at a loss.
Made at a loss. Yeah, why not?
And the nickels, there was a billion of those too.
Wow.
So yeah, all those coins made at a loss.
They only made 2.9 million Native American dollars for circulation.
And that's still too many.
That's about 2.
And they didn't make them for circulation. They made them for roll sets.
Hey, they count them in this number. I'm saying circulation, buddy.
Well, they are a circulation coin, but they make them for rolls, and it's just like the halves.
Right.
They don't really set them into circulation. So it's like last year, not last year, the year before, 2018, they made 10.9 million halves. Last year, 3.4.
Wow.
Yeah. So
cool.
68% decrease. And they made 5.5% more Native American dollars this year. In 2019.
5%.
I think that might have been due to the space theme, though, because I thought that was relatively popular.
Yeah, I think so. I have to agree with you, but I mean, still, too many.
So that was the news, and it was brought to us this week.
By.
Let's see where they at.
I got a sound for this one too.
Brought to us this week by Keychains. You think it's easy to lose your keys as it is. Think about if they weren't all tied together in one handy place. That is a nightmare. Keychains to the rescue. Keeping your lost keys in a single place since 1894. Thank you.
I love it.
In a truthful way, though, all the silliness that we do is brought to you by the patrons, and we want to thank each and every one of them. We have got some surprises coming for them. If you want to become a patron of the Coin Show, go to www.patreon.com/thecoinshow.
Yep.
And you can join, you can donate, and that's pretty much all you're going to hear out of me for this episode on that one.
Well,
Yeah. Well, I mean, they know what we do, and so here, let's do some show news.
Show news.
Show news, show updates. One, do we have a contest?
Not that I know of. I know we had something percolating.
Okay, but it hasn't brewed up yet, right?
I mean,
we're still working on it.
I think next episode will debut the contest. It's a good one. The prize is awesome. We have had
the prize is outstanding.
Some supporters of the show come on board that you guys will all know, and they've donated some prizes to us that we're going to be giving away. And I'm really, really psyched about it. So next episode, we're going to be starting a contest to win a prize worth in excess of $249. So
That's true. And, we've been making a lot of upgrades to the show. We've been doing a lot of changes. And tonight really kind of marks the first of our completely live shows.
Yes.
So we're doing the show live. We're recording it live. We're going to post it as it happened live. And the show is now going to become more of a video podcast vehicle. We're just kind of make that transition at this point. And, it's still the same show. I mean,
It's the
can
same
still
show, and
find
actually,
it in audio format on our website, still in all the same places. All the usual suspects are going to have it, but there's some tweaks if you want to watch it. I particularly love the fact that Matt shows you the news stories. It's my favorite part of all of that,
yeah.
you know, because you can actually see what we're talking about, and what we're doing. So
I've upgraded the production side too. I'm sitting over here, as you can tell by my fun sound effects tonight. I got a soundboard that allows us to run the show live with all the music and everything, and it's pretty cool. I can record the show, so I will have it, you know, as we said, recorded just as we do it. So it cuts down on the post production that we have had to do forever, and
yes,
and
it sounds great. And no, we don't even have to touch it, and it's really, really a treat.
Yep. So that allows us to do these other things that we've been doing while keeping the same show we've always had. So nothing's changing. Everybody's still getting the podcast. It's still going.
Just more. So
yep.
We're going to be coming out on a couple of different outlets. Some other stuff happening. Some other stuff brewing. There is. Let's see. What else do we have for show news?
The fact that I have been diligently working on getting swag bags together.
Yes. Swag bags are going to be a thing.
Swag bags are going to be a thing. Patrons are going to get swag bags. And then if we have stuff left over, that will maybe become available for sale, you know, on our website or here. Just help support the show, help support what we've been doing with the upgrades. And you know, just don't tell my wife how much I spent on this stuff.
Just don't tell her.
No,
but
because it came out of my pocket for sure.
We're also upgrading the equipment.
Yeah.
So Matt has got this really nice soundboard and this fantastic microphone. He told me that you can hear the difference between his and mine. Yeah. So by next week we will have fixed that one, or by next show we will have fixed that one. And to be honest with you, if things keep going and progressing the way that they are, I think you might even be able to look forward to a more frequent Coin Show.
I would say so. If it becomes that much easier to put these shows out, I would be more than welcome. Yeah. Because a lot of things that people don't understand is, you know, these shows, after we do them, you know, there's a lot of post-production. There's several hours of post-production that goes into converting the audio and putting in the music and, you know, loading the video, converting the video, and doing all that stuff just to get it out to where it's going. So the less of that we have to do, the more we have time to dedicate to the show and you know, actually making content, which is fun.
Absolutely.
So
another change is personal change for me.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Buddy.
Why not let them know?
Yeah, might as well.
So I have accepted a new position with I don't know, it's a relatively decent sized coin shop in downtown Chicago. So I'm going to actually be going into the business. I'm going to turn to the dark side. I'm going to become somebody on the other side of the counter.
This is like
for real this time. It wasn't just a part-time gig that I was working some hours at brick and mortar down the street. So I'm looking really forward to it.
Full-time commitment?
It is a full-time commitment. It is a real position. It is a career. It is something I'm very proud to be a part of. And it's a really, really big place. So I'm very, very happy to have been brought aboard.
And when do you start that situation?
I start that situation next Monday.
Nice.
Yeah. So I am honestly getting a chance to do something that I dream about doing, which is, you know, working with coins and doing more coin stuff. So here's what I propose is that we are going to have a dueling coolest thing.
Oh, getting in on my action there, buddy. I see.
Well, what we're going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit more competitive.
Oh, of course you are.
Of course.
I love it.
You know,
you're working at a Gigando coin shop in downtown Chicago, and you're gonna kick my butt, and I love it.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I love every second of it because this is like
it's gonna be great.
This is like a bucket list job for Mike, and I've been so stoked ever since I found out about it. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and thanks, Matt. That's for all that you had to influence it. Thank you.
Nothing.
That was
not a bit. Not a bit.
Okay. So those are some really exciting things that are going to happen with the show, and we're really proud of that. Well, we can move on to I've got a new segment called What's Mike Reading?
What's Mike reading?
What's Mike reading? And so this week, Mike is reading a guidebook of barber coins. So this is the Bowers Edition Red Book guidebook of barber coins. And here, let me pull up my notes. And so this is one of the most useful books on barbers ever published, in my opinion. It gives you the story behind the coins and why they came to be, the number of dies that they used in production, grading standards for the coins, fine and lower, based on the presence of Liberty in her coronet. So they kind of give you a little grading lesson. Standard mint mark locations, as well as a coin-by-coin breakdown in numbers extent. That is one of the things I think I love about this series of books the most, is that they break it down always by date and mint mark, each coin at a time. They break it down proof and uncirculated, and they give you a good idea of, how you can find these coins and what the characteristics are of that particular date and mint mark. So, I'm sorry.
Sounds fun. Sounds like a good book.
So, they also have a general price guide in it. I really, it's like, this is the only place. And so I've created this grading scale for the books that I'm gonna be talking about, and we're gonna do it like a coin, right? And I'm gonna give it a total of possible 25 points for numismatic or historical facts.
Okay.
Up to 10 points for being well written.
Okay.
Up to 10 points for its entertainment value.
Okay.
And up to 25 points for illustration. So if that's 25, 25, 10, and 10, that's 70.
Nice.
So if it's 50, it's an AU book. If it's 63, it's an MS book. I kind of like this gimmick. I'm kind of kitschy on that stuff. You know how that works.
You've always been that way, so I like
it. Yes. So the book groups the three series, the barbers, the dimes, the quarters, and the halves, as they should, because they have too many common features to do it any other way.
Right.
Now, each of Barber's designs was eventually replaced by an absolutely iconic U.S. design, and he was not a big fan, as one might imagine. But still, these designs are praised for their utility and their basic beauty. The Barber coins would be the last time that multiple U.S. circulating coin denominations would share a common obverse design.
Yeah, that's true.
So it ended that tradition with the U.S. Mint. Now, this is the new second edition, so it's been updated, and it has updated appendices and prices. The book features some common errors found in the series and pictures of what they look like, as well as a history of the mints that struck the series, a feature on Charles Barber, and much, much more. So, as a type collector, I love how these three coins are grouped in this reference. The shared obverse makes the grading notes common across all three series, and it would be kind of redundant to have to buy a book for each of the series. I will also proclaim a general love for the entire series of books. They're quick references that have loads of accurate, useful information. You can look up specific dates and become an instant expert when you want to make a purchase. The information is useful, is well organized. The story of each year is told as the coins are described. Now, personally, I think that it's the history of the country that's reflected in the coinage in a lot of aspects.
Right.
Economics ups and downs, spur mintage figures, locations where the coiners struck will teach you about the locations of like precious metal discoveries and the movement of population centers as our nation expanded. So knowing the kind of stuff that's going on in a given year will enlighten you as to why certain things have happened. And in that regard, I mean, Q. David Bowers just absolutely kills this book. He knocks it out of the park in all those places. So you know where this one's going. This one gets an overall MS grade from me, 68.
68.
So it's like 68. I gave it 25 for numismatic and historical facts, 10 for being well written, 8 for entertainment, because it's like the book's a little dry to just be reading for entertainment. It's more of a reference book, in my opinion.
Sure.
And 25 for the illustrations. So, I mean, it got perfect scores in everything but, the fact that it is what it is. And that's just what I would expect. So they're packed with history, mintage information, strike characteristics, other useful information. But the pricing information in these books is simply there as a relative reference, in my opinion, and just doesn't pretend to suggest actual market prices that you should depend on when you're making a buying decision.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what Mike was reading this week is a guidebook of barber coins, the new second edition. You can pick it up at Whitman.com, Amazon.com. Price $29.95, paperback. Really, really good book, Doug, because I love the error section where they show you,
like
what these errors look like.
Like minting errors.
Like offsetters and clip planchets, things like that.
Cool.
Yeah, so it gives you a good idea what they look like.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah. Let's see. We did not have we had one question. So let me go and
one question.
Oh yeah, let me go and snag this question.
Okay. Let's see what
and there's an announcement that we got. Our friend Dennis Tucker has asked us to let people know that the Whitman Coin and Collectibles Expo, which is usually held in Baltimore 3 times a year, is going to be in Atlanta again, February 27th through 29th of 2020.
Yeah, I heard about that. I thought about going, but I actually don't think I'm going to make that show. Unfortunately.
I will tell you what, Atlanta is spectacular in late February.
Oh, I'm sure. Anything south of like Tennessee is awesome that time of year.
It's just absolutely beautiful that time of year.
I was just in Orlando for like 6 days, so it was and the weather was absolutely gorgeous the whole time we were there. It's a perfect excuse to go to Florida in January.
Oh, absolutely! That's what the fun show is all about. Yeah. So yeah, they're going to have Bill Byerly, author of the recently released "In God We Trust: The American Civil War, Money, Banking, and Religion." He's going to be autographing books and talking about his research. Jeff Garrett, Bill Fiva, Dennis Tucker. They're all going to be there signing books, talking with collectors. Let's see. I think it's Fiva's doing a presentation on cherry picking rare dye varieties. Yeah, so they're going to be part of the Money Talks.
Yeah, that's a series they do at all those shows. The Money Talk series,
the ANA, the Money Show, all that.
Yeah, they're good. I always find them to be well attended. I normally don't have time to stop by, but I do walk by a lot, and I always see tons of people in those things. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some mail from Daniel Fisher.
Yeah,
he's a big fan of our sponsorships. He's written to us before. So he said he has a new sponsor and he thinks Matt's really going to like. Cough buttons, technology far beyond the grasp of your average coin enthusiast. And he says, sorry, Mike, I had to pick on you. I just hope the cough gets better soon.
Well, it's been me lately, but did you see right there? Right? If you're watching the stream or the video, that's exactly what I just hit, right?
Well, that's the thing is you have a cough button. I do. We'll have one soon.
You'll have one next week.
Yeah, I'll have one next week.
Next week.
So, let's see. So, that leaves us with the coolest thing.
The coolest thing, huh?
One and only coolest thing.
If you guys have been paying attention, you've already seen this coin. I did make a little video about it yesterday, but I figured it was still cool enough that we could talk about it here. And the most awesome thing now, Mike, you ready for this? I have my new buttons. Oh,
no.
Here it comes.
The coolest We're going to a dream sequence.
You like that?
Where did you find this coin anyway?
So this particular coin, if you guys are paying attention, I did make a video about it. But if you hadn't seen it yet, that's fine. So after the fun show, every year we go over to my folks' place on the east coast of Florida, on the west coast of Florida, and we hang out with them for a few days. And Evan and I, being the coin fiends that we are, we can't just go to a coin show and then not do coins for 4 days. So we have a couple little honey holes that we hit down there in that area. I'm not going to tell you where. And we just happened to be coin shopping and found this. And we purchased it.
So it was in a coin shop?
It was in a coin shop, yep, and a big lot of junk that the guy didn't know what it was. And we didn't even notice it until later, until we got back to Indiana. We were just processing.
So you just bought it because it was a nice buffalo?
We bought a parcel roll of like AUBU buffalo nickels. And nice. Going back through them, we were flipping them over because there's some 35s in there. And I was like, nah, we're never going to find one. And Bingo, bango, there she was. So this coin is probably the largest, not the largest spread, but the largest and really the only major double die on the Buffalo Nickel series. It is a 1935 double die. The coin itself is pretty nice. It's got some pretty gold toning, a little bit of streakiness, which comes from a kind of a junky planchet. The coin had booming luster, as you can see in the pictures. It was just absolutely stunning. It's got a couple little hits, one on the cheek of the Indian there, you can see in this picture. But super awesome coin. The coin really, if you've never seen one of these, I've actually found 4 or 5 of them just going through bulk Buffalo nickels that we buy from dealers and stuff. And the nicest one I've ever found, I think, was like a fine, or a very fine maybe.
This coin is a monster. That was why I thought, hey, you looked at it and said, okay, it's just a really nice MS-65 Buffalo.
Well, it really was. It was, and that's why we bought it like that. But then we got back to Indiana and started going through everything we did, and we were like, holy crap, look at this thing. And there's a lot of, people always say, well, how could you do that to a dealer? And, well, you know what? I mean, the ethics of this particular thing, if somebody comes in my office and doesn't know a darn thing about coins and shows me this coin, I will tell them exactly what it is, and I will pay them accordingly. But if you're a dealer, you set up a shop, you set up at a show, you should know better. And
yeah, no, you asked him what he wanted for the coin. He told you, you paid him.
Right.
That's different than he's a dealer. He's not the general public.
Right. And that's, I've gotten a little criticism for that, but you know what? I mean, like I said, that's the thing. If you operate a business and you are in the industry, you should know what you're doing. And you should know your industry, know what you're doing, or you're going to miss out on stuff like this.
As somebody I recently met says, know what you know what you don't know.
Right. Exactly. But the coin, we sent it off to PCGS, and it graded an MS-64 Plus, which I thought they were a little hard on it, but it did become the second finest known example. There is either 1 or 2 MS-65s known. Only one that I can actually find a picture of, so it might be the same coin twice.
That's possible. Now, I will tell you that I looked at this coin, and I'm not generally one that looks at varieties very much. I don't really get it. I'm not really into it. However, this one, it's easy to see. I mean, the markers are just super obvious.
It really is.
It's notches, in the bottom of letters in pluribus and stuff like that. And then, to really look at the Buffalo has doubling all over it. It's just lost in the hair that you really just don't see it.
You can actually see 2 tips on the horn if you look at this picture.
The eye is doubled.
Yep. All those little squigglies up to the neck of the Buffalo are doubled. I've had this thing. I probably spent a half hour with this coin with a glass just staring at it because, like I said, the only ones I've ever seen have been just heavily circulated. Really, the only thing you can see is double is 5 cents and the first 3 letters of United. And then it becomes so worn that you just can't see the rest of it. So to actually have a really nice one was cool.
And here's a lesson in the minting process for people in that, so the reverse has this doubling. Right. The obverse has no doubling.
Yep.
And it's because the doubling comes from the die, not the strike.
Right. The doubling, the die was made doubled, and that's why they call it a doubled die. It wasn't struck twice. The die was improperly constructed when they made it to strike the coins, and that's what causes your doubling. Every one of the double dies will look just like this. Exactly the same.
They had a slight rotation in between pressings of the hub.
Yep, that's exactly
and that's how it works. It's like they pressed it, and then it slightly shifted. And so that's one of the things about double dies and how you can tell the difference between shelf doubling and strike doubling and all that other kind of stuff is that there's a separation. It's like it actually moves with the clock. So there will be areas where the doubling is stronger and other areas where it is not. And when you have the strike doubled coins, the doubling is pretty much all over the place.
I think there's 9 different types of double dies. Rotated hub, tilted hub. There's a bunch of different types of double dies. Mm-hmm. And I'm not exactly sure which one this is. I don't get that far into it. I just know that they exist. But anyways,
and that they're worth more money.
Well, in this case, this coin, like I said, this is the second finest known of the most major double die in the Buffalo Nickel series. So this is a really high 4-figure, low 5-figure coin that's going to go to auction, I assume, at some point. I've already sold the thing.
Sure.
But I assume it'll show up at an auction eventually.
I hate you right now. All right, so that is the coolest thing that walked into Matt's shop this week. Do we have any other old business?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so contest to come.
Contest is coming.
Contest is coming. Swag bags are coming.
Swag bags are definitely coming. I'm starting to get the first pieces in. I'm so excited about this, dude. I've put a lot of effort.
I want a stack.
They're yours.
You got to send me some when you send me my setup.
Right. I'm going to. I got 500.
Okay, absolutely. We're gonna have fun with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. So yes, we got some stuff coming. So if you want to join in the fun, www.patreon.com/coinshow. Join, become a patron, help us out in our mission. This is getting serious. We're starting to do some stuff.
Yeah, I'm getting things figured out hot, fast, and in a hurry. So
yeah. So I'm very, very pleased with the direction things are going. So. Let's see. Do I want to do any closing credits? I know I want to do closing credits, but you know what I don't want to do?
What's that?
I don't want to do them the way I used to do them. So This is what I'm going to say is thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you for listening. Thanks to Ernesto for, taking care of all of our Facebook stuff. Justin Irvine for the content that he helps us provide on YouTube. And look for our episodes coming. Let's see, they're going to be on Facebook? YouTube,
yeah, everywhere. Facebook, YouTube, Spreaker.
And then an audio format on our website,
iTunes podcast.
Yeah, it's like you can go to Apple Podcasts, you can go to iHeartRadio, you can catch all that stuff.
Didn't we just submit it somewhere else too?
Pardon me?
Didn't we just submit it somewhere else?
We're working on Spotify.
Yeah.
We're working on Spotify. We should have that by next show.
Yeah, along with the awesome contest, which, like I said before. Awesome prize pack.
Big prize.
Worth slightly more than $249.
Yeah, it's the biggest contest we've ever run.
Yeah. And then we have another one coming right after that. So
Yep. So we got some stuff going. We got some stuff working. And we're really excited about it.
Yeah. I love it.
And now I'm excited about this part. For the Coin Show, I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And we'll talk to you next time on the Coin Show. No blooper reel.
None at all.